headlines for this hour on VTV News. Nationwide launch of 80 strategic development projects. And Vietnam emerges as offshore wind power leader in Southeast Asia. The U.S. lights out plans to hit China's ship with port fees.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. On this historic Saturday morning, 80 key projects launched simultaneously via online ceremonies across 34 provinces and cities nationwide. This momentous event can be described in one word: special. Special in its atmosphere, timing, and the unified efforts of the entire political system to achieve remarkable results. These projects represent extraordinary efforts to advance national development aspirations. They stand not only as symbols of progress and innovation, but also as tributes to the generations who sacrificed for the country's independence and freedom. Spanning all three regions across 34 provinces and cities, this initiative encompassed diverse sectors: transportation, energy, industries, healthcare, education, irrigation, digital infrastructure, climate change response, and culture. Key transport projects across southern Vietnam are seeing a flurry of activity. Of the 80 major projects in progress, half are dedicated to enhancing the region's transportation network, creating vital connections, and unlocking economic potential for local communities. The accelerated pace of investment preparations, implementation, and completion promises to energize growth across southern provinces.
Final connection points are being completed on several key projects, with the Rạch Mill 2 bridge project on track to complete its span closure.
The early bridge closure will enable us to expedite subsequent phases of the project.
For years, the existing Rạch Mill 1 bridge has struggled with severe congestion. As such, the Ministry of Construction urged construction teams to speed up progress, and the project now runs 4 months ahead of schedule.
The team tries to finish the bridge by September the 2nd to reduce congestion on the original bridge.
This year alone, the Mekong Delta region has set an ambitious target of completing 600 kilometers of expressway. The new transport infrastructure is expected to catalyze growth in this promising economic zone.
While we have faced challenges recently, the government has drastically supported resolving issues related to materials and land acquisition. We are confident about completing these projects on schedule and maybe even 6 months ahead of time.
Looking ahead, the government plans to build approximately 1,200 kilometers of expressways in the Mekong Delta region by 2030. According to Government Resolution Number 25, the new infrastructure will create regional growth corridors, raising the area's gross regional domestic product from 8% to 9.5%, and supporting the nation's overall growth target of 8% or higher.
In a significant move to support the nation's vital agriculture sector, the State Bank of Vietnam has announced a substantial $3.9 billion preferential credit package. This initiative builds upon the success of a previous credit scheme focused on forestry and fishery, which saw rapid disbursement due to attractive lending rate 1 to 2% below standard rates. The expanded financial support is anticipated to provide a crucial lifeline for businesses navigating the complexities of the global economic landscape.
The credit support for agriculture, forestry, and aquaculture has witnessed a fourfold expansion since its initial launch in July 2023. To date, 15 commercial banks have pledged their participation in the $3.9 billion credit package. Notably, the Vietnam Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development will increase its credit allocation by more than 30%.
Agribank has increased its credit limit to $773 million. We're focused on streamlining procedures and enhancing technology so customers can access it on digital platforms.
The government is prioritizing support for small and medium-sized enterprises that face many high risks but have limited access to loan packages. This allows them to recover and even enhance their production capabilities.
By February this year, the previous credit package had disbursed nearly $2.3 billion to about 13,400 business clients.
Our plan is to open another factory by 2026 to target official agricultural exports, especially products from Hưng Yên. Therefore, the capital demand is very large. We hope to receive credit sources from banks.
The expanded loan program, now covering agriculture, forestry, and aquaculture, is expected to unlock significant investment opportunities in deep processing industries.
The credit package not only solves the capital problem for businesses in urgent times, but also supports the sustainable direction of the agricultural sector.
A recent report highlights Vietnam's significant offshore wind power potential, positioning it as a leader in Southeast Asia. The Vietnam Offshore Wind Energy Technical Potential Report 2025 was conducted by the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting with support from UNDP and the Norwegian embassies. This vast resource provides a strong foundation for developing a large-scale offshore wind power industry, crucial for energy security, green economic growth, and achieving net zero emissions by 2050.
The report reveals a total exploitable offshore capacity of 1,068 gigawatts, nearly double the figure previously announced by the World Bank for Vietnam. The coastal potential has an estimated total capacity of 57.8 gigawatts. The study also took into account extreme weather risks in assessing this potential.
When developing wind power facilities, we must consider natural disaster risks. Our report includes updated data on events like storms, strong winds, large waves, and currents that could create marine debris and damage wind power infrastructure.
The analysis examines seasonal wind patterns, showing that the northeast monsoon from November to March provides peak power generation in the northern and central regions. December yields the highest wind power output nationwide. In contrast, May and June see reduced wind speeds, a factor that must be considered when planning system operations and maintenance.
I think first I would like to congratulate Vietnam on the huge steps that it has taken necessary to develop the offshore wind potential of the country.
Reaching the net zero target by 2050 is really important. I think climate change and the energy transition is a global affair. So it's really great that we see countries working together. And so this report today is made by an institute in Vietnam working together with an institute in Norway.
These findings provide a crucial scientific foundation for planning and investment, clearing the path for Vietnam to develop a major offshore wind power industry. This initiative will significantly advance the country's commitment to net zero by 2050 while strengthening its position in the global renewable energy sector.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade issued an urgent dispatch on Friday requiring localities to strengthen supervision and inspections of counterfeit milk, medicine, and health supplements after discovering numerous serious violations affecting public health. Local authorities must review and recall fake products, enforce strict penalties for violation, and enhance post-inspection measures. This includes quality sampling and monitoring of false advertising, particularly at small retail outlets, unauthorized vendors, e-commerce platforms, and social networks. The U.S. reciprocal tariff policy on countries including Vietnam is reshaping trade flows, prompting Vietnamese exporters to reassess and adapt their strategies. At a recent workshop on Vietnamese enterprises respond to U.S. reciprocal tariffs, experts offered solutions to help businesses stay competitive in a shifting global market.
Following the U.S. announcement of reciprocal tariffs, a number of Vietnamese exporters were impacted. In textiles, a $1 million shipment now faces $610,000 in tariff, up sharply under the 46% rate. With average profit margins of just 5 to 10%, businesses are forced to raise prices, risking lost competitiveness in the U.S. market.
Vietnam has signed 17 free trade agreements, many offering tax incentives tied to meeting origin standards. This presents an opportunity to diversify markets, fully leverage existing FTAs, and reduce the risks of over-reliance on a single export destination.
The Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry noted that businesses with flexible organization, strong cost control, and consistent quality can maintain stable production. In addition to exports, the domestic market of over 100 million people offers significant growth opportunities.
Businesses should utilize the 90-day tariff delay to fulfill U.S. orders and explore new markets. Equally important is the development of domestic supply chains. Additionally, reducing costs and boosting competitiveness remain key strategies.
Our business has exported software to numerous countries, not just the U.S. IT companies must quickly align with the government's current priorities for science and technology, particularly Resolution 57 and upcoming resolutions on the private economy.
The U.S. reciprocal tariff policy presents a challenge for Vietnamese export enterprises. With a proactive and adaptable approach, businesses can navigate these challenges and potentially use them as a foundation for more stable future growth.
Coming up next on VTV News, 50th anniversary parade rehearsals unite citizens in patriotic spirit. And travelers flock to Ninh Thuận province to visit Stone Park. The victory of the historic general offensive and uprising in the spring of 1975 was not only the result of the determinations and unity of the entire army and people, but also the direct strategic leadership of the Supreme Command. At the center of this command, crucial decisions and defining moments unfolded, guiding the nation toward final victory.
At the general headquarters, located in the Thăng Long Imperial Citadel, over 7,000 days of work and 1,000 key meetings of the Politburo, the Central Military Commission and the General Command were held to guide the resistance war against the U.S.
Each meeting reshaped the determination as the situation evolved rapidly. While Dien Bien Phu was fought with 5 divisions, 5 key army corps were mobilized to liberate the South.
In late February 1975, General Văn Tiến Dũng, Chief of the General Staff, approved the plan to attack Buôn Ma Thuột. The top priority was ensuring secrecy for the tank units crossing the river.
The regiment was tasked with opening a 6-meter-wide road, allowing vehicles to move at 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. After the liberation of Buôn Ma Thuột, excitement filled the air. Many believed victory was within reach.
What began as a large-scale battle in the Central Highlands quickly transformed into a general offensive and uprising when the opportunity arose. This shift was an opportunity for making historic decisions through a clear analysis of both enemy and Vietnam's own strengths.
At the same time, the Central Military Commission presented a special proposal. As preparations for the final strategic battle continued, efforts to liberate the islands and archipelagos should also proceed.
Each meeting reshaped the determination as the situation evolved rapidly. Forces from Military Region 5 and the Navy were tasked with taking Song Tu Tay, Nam Yet, Sin Tun, and Sun Ka. The islands were liberated on April 29th. A delay of just 2 weeks could have seen those islands seized.
55 days and nights of relentless effort to liberate the South before the rainy season, reflected in the Supreme Command's strategic brilliance, culminating in the 1975 General Offensive and Spring Uprising victory.
Ho Chi Minh City will launch high-altitude fireworks at the Saigon Riverbank Park this Saturday night to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South. A second firework display will take place next Saturday evening at the same location in Thủ Đức City. On April 30th, the celebration will culminate with the third firework display occurring simultaneously at 30 locations across Ho Chi Minh City. Two of these will be high-altitude displays, one at the Saigon River Tunnel area in Thủ Đức City and another at Bến Dược Martyrs Memorial Temple in Củ Chi District. On Friday night, people across the country, especially those in Ho Chi Minh City, watched the rehearsal for the upcoming Grand Parade with great interest. The event marked a highlight in a series of special activities commemorating the 50th anniversary of the national reunification.
More than 10,000 armed forces personnel and civilians participated in the parade. Crowds gathered early in the city center streets, eagerly awaiting the appearance of each marching unit. The atmosphere was electric with excitement and pride as formations emerged one after another to continuous applause and cheers.
I arrived at 5 o'clock to watch the rehearsal. Witnessing such a historic event filled me with deep emotion and pride.
From Vietnamese returning from abroad to younger generations growing up in the heart of the city, everyone felt they were part of history in this special moment.
I'm deeply moved by the sacrifices of our ancestors. Through their long and difficult struggle, they achieved victory and liberation. Because of their efforts, my generation now enjoys a life of peace, prosperity, and happiness.
For people like us, especially the younger generation, reflecting on our ancestors' contributions to the peace we have today fills me with pride.
Knowing the road would be closed at 6 o'clock, my sisters and I arrived early. We didn't expect the parade to be so majestic and full of spirit.
Even participants in the marching formations radiated energy, enthusiasm, and anticipation for the upcoming holiday.
Participants showed a lot of enthusiasm and excitement as they gave their all during formation practices for the 50th anniversary parade.
More than just a rehearsal, this was a powerful moment for every citizen to relive the nation's heroic history, witnessing with renewed clarity the pride, aspirations, and unity of the community as they celebrated 50 years of national reunification.
Saturday morning, the Book and Reading Culture Day 2025 was held at the National Library of Vietnam under the theme, Each Page of a Book, a Source of Pride. This event affirmed the vital role of books in enriching knowledge, nurturing the soul, and evoking pride in national history, coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification. The exhibitions of the Great Spring Victory of 1975 showcased 800 books, offering readers a comprehensive overview of the Vietnamese people's long-term resistance war. The event featured meaningful activities that promoted reading culture and knowledge sharing, including author discussions, specialized book readings, memory book experiences, game shows, and campaigns to transform recycled materials into valuable books. On Friday night, the Phie Festival 2025 officially opened at the Thăng Long Imperial Citadel Heritage, drawing both local residents and tourists from Vietnam and abroad. Visitors sample distinctive Phie dishes from various regions across the country. Under the theme, The Quintessence of Vietnamese Phie Heritage in the Digital Age, artisans are offering interactive demonstrations of the complete pho making process, from ingredient selections to noodle making and broth preparation, including the creation of fried duck sticks. The festival features AI applications that help visitors discover their favorite pho dishes, marking the first use of AI technology for customer guidance at a culinary festival. This event aims to serve as a bridge celebrating and connecting businesses, craft villages, and brands while showcasing Vietnamese cuisine to capital residents and tourists alike. The festival runs through April 20th of this year. April 19 marked Vietnamese Ethnic Culture Day. On this occasion, the Vietnam Ethnic Culture and Tourism Village in Sơn Tây Town, Hanoi offers local and visitors the chance to experience a vibrant series of culture events showcasing the rich traditions of ethnic communities from across the country. Hundreds of artisans and members from 16 ethnic groups who regularly reside and perform at the village, such as the Mường, Mông, Ta Ơi, Cơ Tu, and Khmer, will take part in traditional festivals and culture activities. Also on that day, a conference titled Summary of Coordination Efforts in Mobilizing Ethnic Communities to Participate in Activities at the Vietnam Ethnic Culture and Tourism Village is being held. The event aims to improve policies and encourage broader, more meaningful community involvement in sustaining and enriching this culture model. Along the coast of Núi Chua National Park lies a unique stone park that captivates travelers. This World Biosphere Reserve combines stunning natural beauty with fascinating stories. Over millions of years, thousands of natural stone blocks of varying size have accumulated atop one another, earning this site the nickname Nature's Stone Collection.
Spanning about 5 hectares, the stone park features tens of thousands of stone blocks with diverse sizes, shapes, and colors. These stones formed through natural weathering processes over millions of years, creating what appears to be nature's own unique stone collection.
The scenery has been truly wonderful. The air is incredibly fresh. I came early in the morning to watch the sunrise over the sea.
With its majestic scenery, the stone park is a perfect spot for photographers and young couples to capture memorable moments of their youth through breathtaking photos and videos.
The stone park features a magnificent landscape, with forest on one side and the blue sea on the other. I often bring visitors here for photo shoots, both international tourists and guests from other provinces.
What makes the stone park stand out is how clearly it showcases the characteristics of the rocky coastal forest. Many domestic and international tourists have known about this stone park thanks to its wild and majestic beauty.
The Núi Chua World Biosphere Reserve covers nearly 106,650 hectares. Scientists consider it the only intact model of a typical dry forest ecosystem in both Vietnam and Southeast Asia. This forest ecosystem ranks among Earth's 200 most important ecological regions and receives the highest priority for conservation among all major global habitats.
Coming up next in our World News, U.S. lays out plans to hit China's shift with port fees. An unusually heavy spring snowstorm wreaks havoc in the Alps. The United States has unveiled plans to impose new port fees on China's ships, aiming to revive American shipbuilding amid China's dominance in that industry. The U.S. has intensified trade tension with China through this measure. Starting October 14, ships owned by or built by China will be charged $50 per deadweight tons or $120 per container. Ships built by China but owned by non-Chinese companies will face a lower fees of $18 per ton. These fees will gradually increase over the next 3 years. The new charges will apply to each U.S. port visit up to 5 times per year. Ship owners can have the fee waived if they place an order for a U.S.-built vessels. China Foreign Ministry immediately voiced oppositions, urging the U.S. to respect multilateral trade rules and warning that China would take necessary steps to defend its interests. The latest tariff imposed by the United States on Chinese goods could impact global trade and in turn negatively affect the Suez Canal, one of the world's most vital shipping routes. This is the warning of the Suez Canal authorities. China's goods constitute a major portion of cargo moving through the canal, and reciprocal tariff on China's export may reduce overall shipping volume. This warning comes amid a broader context of regional and global political instability, which has already taken a toll on the canal's operations. Ongoing unrest in the Red Sea has led to a sharp decline in Suez Canal revenue from a record $10 billion in 2023 to just $4 billion in 2024. An unusually heavy spring storm across the Alps sparked chaos on Thursday and has dumped more than a meter of snow in some areas, shutting ski areas, roads, trains, and schools as authorities urged people to stay home. The heavy snowfall killed at least one person, while another was severely injured in an avalanche as snow blanketed areas of Switzerland, Italy, and France. Many roads and tunnels were shut in all three countries due to fallen trees or avalanche risk, and some schools remain closed. Dozens of heavy trucks that cannot use cross-border tunnels were at a standstill on the side of A43 motorway linking France and Italy. Train traffic was also affected, and by mid-afternoon, more than 3,300 French households were still without power. Although snowfall in April is not unusual in the Alps, the amount that has fallen took parts of the regions by surprise. And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch the program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download a mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.